All right, so today we are looking at applying percents to your life. So how percents are used in your everyday life or in a majority of your life and things like that. Okay, so the first way is a few common things people use percentages for in their everyday life. The first one is a discount. This is a percentage, I'm shorthanding it, off of an item. Okay? It is a percentage off of an item. So what you have to do to get this is you multiply the percentage by the price, then subtract it. Okay, so it's a two-step process when you're finding a discount on something. So what you would do is you would take the discount, multiply it by the total, and then whatever you get out, you have to subtract from the total. Okay? Now, the next thing here is a tip. A tip is another one that is a percentage of your total. Now, when do you use tips? Yeah, typically for a waiter in the food industry. You could also leave a tip for if you have good service with selling some other items. You know, it really just kind of depends. But more often than not, when we think of a tip, we think of leaving a tip for a food industry person. Okay? Now, how you calculate the tip is you multiply the total by the percentage of your tip, and then you add it to the total. Okay? So, what you should notice so far, when we had a discount, you subtracted. That's because it gave you a deal. When you are giving a tip, all right, the tip means that you are adding on, you are paying more money because you're leaving something behind for somebody. Okay? Now, similar to tip would be the sales tax, which is a percentage of your total. Okay, now, sales tax are things that are again added. Okay? So what you would do here is you would multiply the total by the percentage of sales tax and add it to your total. Okay? So, that is the reason why if something it costs $1 at the gas station, you don't pay $1. You typically pay, in our county, $1.06 because it's a 6% sales tax. Ask it.
So why is there like stuff in like the store it's like says like $1, like you get up there and they make you only pay like $1?
Well, so some places have tax included in your thing. Some places, if you pay cash, they just don't charge you tax, and it's like they didn't sell it. Bless you. So I mean,
because the other day I bought a dollar drink at Coke and he didn't pay tax for it. He said
Yeah.
$1 and give $1.
yeah. So that just means he's going to keep the dollar, and he's not going to turn it in to the federal money. Yeah.
Genius.
No, we are recording, so I want you to know that that is illegal, and you shouldn't do that. All right. Anyways, all right. So let's go on and let's keep working. We got 4 examples I want to work with you. Okay? 4 examples I'm going to work with you, and then I've got some worksheets for you. What's up? Okay. All right. So let's start up here with the first one with Old Navy. Okay? It says at Old Navy, 2 pairs of flip-flops cost $5. If the tax rate is 8%, how much will you pay in sales tax? Okay? So, here is what you've got to do, all right? is you are looking for you're looking for the tax rate, all right? So there's two ways you can do this, all right? My question to you is, do you want to set up proportions like we were doing, or do you want to look at another way of figuring it out? I think if we do proportions like we were doing, it'll really help us, because then it's really kind of the same process to do everything else, right? So we're going to use proportions to start out with and see how this goes. So what we're looking here, if you look at this, they give us that the tax rate is 8%, and then they give us our total cost, which 2 pairs of flip-flops, the cost was $5. Here's what you've got to know. The tax that you're going to add to it is 8%. So that means you need to set up your proportion where it is X, because you don't know the part of 5 that makes up 8%, over 5 equals 8 over 100. So it's still the part over whole type deal. Is everybody okay with how I set that up? Zylan, you with me? You're not playing on your Chromebook? Okay, good. All right, so I'm here to figure out how much that 8% sales tax would be. I've got to solve this proportion. Well, to solve this proportion, I would want to cross multiply. You get 100 times X is equal to 8 times 5. This would give you 100X is equal to 40. Divide both sides by 100. And watch what you would get out. You would get X is equal to 0.4. Okay? That's what you should get. Now, here's what I need you to understand. What are we dealing with here? Well, sales tax deals with money. Okay? So I'm dealing with money. All right. So we're working with money. Here's what you need to understand. How many decimal points do you need to have when you're working with money? 2. So this isn't really 0.4, but it's 0.40. Okay? Now, what that means here, you look at this and you've got 0.40, which is 40 cents. So, to figure out how much you will pay in sales tax, you just figured it out. The amount that you would pay in sales tax is $0.40. Okay? Now, the next thing they ask you, so that's to answer part 1. How much will you pay in sales tax? The next part is, how much will your total be? Well, to figure out sales tax and your actual total, once you find the sales tax, do you subtract it from your total or do you add it to it? You add it. So you would take your $5 and add to it 0.40. So the total you would get is $5.40. Okay? Questions? Okay? All right. Let's look at this one that is directly to the right. At Chops, which is a steakhouse, an 18% gratuity, a tip, okay, gratuity is another word for tip, is automatically added to your bill if there are 6 or more people. If the bill was $90, how much will you be leaving for the tip? Okay, so this is another one of those things here where you're given your percentage. They tell you it's 18% gratuity, and then they give you the total cost. Well, to figure out what that percentage is, you've got to solve for the part, what is missing, okay? So they tell you the entire bill was $90. Well, that means we need to set this up, and remember, we're still using part over whole equals percent over 100. So we don't know the part, we're going to call that X over the entire bill, which was $90. And that has to equal, we want to know what is 18% of that. So it would be 18 over 100. Okay? Then, just like before, you would cross multiply this. So you would get 100 times X is equal to 90 times 18. 100x is equal to 90 times 18 gives you 1,620. Divide both sides by 100. And you should get out x is equal to 16.2. But how many decimal places do we want? 2, because we're working with money. Well, if it doesn't go any further, it's a 0. Now, the thing to make sure of, and I didn't do a good job making sure of this the first time, letting you know this the first time, I should say, is you want to read the question. Here they're asking, what will the amount be for the tip you are leaving? Well, isn't that just our x? We just want to know what 18% of 90 is, and that's the tip we're leaving. So the amount of tip we're leaving is $16.20. $16.20. Y'all with me? Okay. So there is that. Okay. Let's take a look at these last two examples, and then I'll get you your practice sheet. So this last one in the bottom left. At Olympia Sports, Nike Air Maxes are on sale for 15% off. Okay? The shoe originally cost $85. How much will you pay? All right, well, looking at this, I see that they give us a percentage. Okay? Now, they also give us the original cost, which would be the total, right? So what we want to know is, hey, well, first of all, we're getting 15% off. That means we're getting a discount. Do you know how much that is? Right now, we don't. All right, so what we have to do is figure out what that total would be. What is 15% of 85? So you've got to set up your proportion. You don't know your part, but you know your total cost was 85. And you're trying to figure out what would be 15% of that, so 15 over 100. So you've got to solve that ratio out. So when you get down here, you cross multiply. 100 times x is equal to 15 times 85. 100x will equal 15 times 85 is 1,275. Then, just like before, you want to divide by 100. And you end up getting x is equal to 12.75, right? Okay. Now, here's the thing you have to know. Go back, read the question. Does the question ask you for the discount? No. It says, how much will the shoe cost you? Okay. Well, we know we're taking 15% off. Our original was 85. What is this 12.75 going to do to 85? Do we want to add it or do we want to subtract it? You want to subtract it. That is correct, because a discount means you are saving money. So it would be 85 minus 12.75. 85 minus 12.75. And you'd get out your new cost of $72.25. Okay, that would be your final cost. Okay, all right, last example here. If you made an 85% on your English language arts test, if there were 20 questions on the test, how many did you get right? Okay, so what you're looking for here, okay, is again, they give you what you made, 85%, and they give you the total of 20 questions. Okay, well, if you got 85% of the questions right, you're trying to figure out what number would make your proportion correct for being 85%. So that's going to be x over 20, because we don't know what that number is that would equal those proportions. But that's got to equal 85 over 100. Cross multiply. So you would end up getting 100 times x equals 20 times 85. 100x is equal to 20 times 85 is 1700. Divide them both by 100, and you get x is equal to 17. Okay? So, what that means is you got 17 problems correct.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Gets you an 85. All right, so now that you have seen all of that, what we're going to do to finish today is to get some practice on working with these percents in word problem real life situations.